Monday, January 2nd, 2023. And this video, um, this week, there was some big news. And, since Saturday, December 25th, Christmas Eve, I had already said, okay, enough of that. And then the new, a few days later, the news hits and got mixed emotions. So I thought I'd do this video. Uh, for the Raider Nation. So this week, the almighty Las Vegas Raiders benched Derek Carr for the last two games of the remaining season. And I was shocked. And it sent a shockwave through the Raider Nation. So I thought I'd talk about that and address what happened, what is going on, and what are the issues and problems. So, foremost, I have supported Derek Carr 100%. Okay? To the point where I used to even post him on Facebook years ago. Because he has been with the team 9 years. So that's why this is big news. He's the leader of the team for the past 9 years. So, by the way, I feel the pain of the Raider Nation, and my passion is spilling over. So if you're gonna blame me for being a passionate individual, then I don't know what to tell you. Other than happy holidays and have a good 2023. So anyhow, as far as Derek Carr, like I said, I've supported Derek Carr since day one. When the Raiders drafted Derek Carr in the 2014 draft out of Fresno State University, I'm like, okay, now we have a draft pick quarterback, a fresh new start, what the Raiders needed. And why? Because when the Raiders drafted number one pick out of Louisiana State University, DeMarcus Russell, that was the biggest bust in Raiders history. Okay, that bust was, the biggest in Raiders history at least. And so Derek Carr, rookie quarterback, and in fact, his rookie season, the Raiders went 0-10. Well, we stuck with Derek Carr. He was a rookie quarterback. 2015, he improved. 2016, he had a breakout year. He was a Pro Bowl selection. Threw for 28 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, and he carried the Raiders to the playoffs. So at times he has carried the team on his back. Anyhow, after that 2016, Raider, for you Carr fans, one playoff appearance in 8 seasons. Okay, so after that, make a long story short, he's a good quarterback and above average quarterback. But see, in the NFL, when it comes to quarterbacks, there's 3 tiers. There's the elite quarterbacks, like Tom Brady's, the Aaron Rodgers. Then you have tier 2 is great quarterback. And then tier 3, above average quarterbacks. And Derek Carr is a top tier 3 quarterback. You know, let me take it further. This 20 this season, Derek Carr is not a top 10 quarterback. Derek Carr is not a top 16 quarterback. So in NFL, we have 32 teams. How do you freaking expect to win when you don't have a top 16 quarterback? That moment. Okay. So, and now let's get to this season. Derek Carr had a bad season. Okay. Now, you Carr fans can't deny Derek Carr had a bad season. Actually, in the month of December, he had a horrible month. In the last 5 games, he threw for 9 interceptions. In fact, he led the NFL league in 14 interceptions. You know? And like I said, I've defended Derek Carr since day one, but have you ever heard that when you do something over and over and over, it's the definition of insanity? So how long more do I support Derek Carr? Don't get me wrong, Derek Carr is a good locker room leader, but there's a big difference between being a great speaker and your performance on the field. A big freaking difference. Because on the field is what brings wins. And also, is Derek Carr the main problem for this Raiders season? Absolutely not. Is Derek Carr part of the problem? Yes. Because at the start of this season, I saw Derek Carr regressing in his play. Okay, his passes were either underthrown, overthrown, interceptions, and just not getting the right reads. Okay. And how can you deny that? All right, he led the league 14 interceptions. Hashtag facts. Okay. However, he's not the main problem. You die-hard Raider fans know what's the biggest problem. The biggest problem, it's at top, is the owner, Mark Davis. You know, he's made these boneheaded, decisions. Mark Davis, his dad, Al Davis, handed him the team. And so who hired Coach McDaniels? Mark Davis. I said it since week 2, week 3. I posted on Facebook. Coach McDaniels is killing it. He's going to kill the team. Sure enough, the Raiders dropped to 2-7. Then they had the next 7 games that were winnable. Once they came off the bye week, the next 7 games were winnable. Sure enough, they fucked them over. So the Raiders led the league in. They blew 5 games with a 10-plus point lead. Most in the NFL. Or else our record wouldn't be what it is. And it had a lot to do with the defense, offensive line, Carr, but most of all, Coach McDaniel's play calling. Coach, personally, and I think a lot of Raider fans of the Raider Nation will agree that Coach McDaniel's play calling has just killed it. Okay? It's 4th down and 1, and he decides to pass. It's 20 yards for 1st down, runs the ball. His play calling, along with the coaching staff, the defensive coaching staff, hired by Mark Davis. But in an NFL, you cannot fire an owner. And Mark Davis is not going to sell the team because his dad, Al Davis, gave him the team. So I think Coach McDaniels is the biggest problem. And now with Derek Carr bench, which means giving him a hint, giving him a sign that they're going to move on, they have plans for the future, and it's not with him. So Derek Carr's on his way out. You know, the Derek Carr era is essentially over. You know, and it sucks the way they did him, because he's our leader. Everything he did for the team for the past 9 seasons, he literally at times carried the team on his back. So I used to always support Derek Carr because he's a Raider from the heart. In fact, this offseason, before he signed that extension contract, he said that he'd rather retire than play for another team. He said he'd rather play golf for the rest of his life than sign for another team. Now, I think he was premature when he said that, because if another team puts millions on the table, he's gonna play, man. He probably has his best football in front of him. I think that in the long run, it's the best for him. If he could just find that team, he will find that team. I could think of 2 teams right now that finds that right fit. He will have success and get paid. You know? Now, I heard a Raider fan say, oh, well, you know, Derek Carr, hopefully he goes to another team and wins a championship, rub it in on the Raiders. Time out. I like Derek Carr. I support Derek Carr. He's always going to be a Raider, at least for us in our minds. Even if he gets traded to another team, goes to another team, will go to another team. But if Derek Carr is playing against the Raiders, I'm going to root for the Raiders. I'm going to go for the Raiders over Derek Carr. I like Derek Carr. I'm always going to support him. I wish him the best of luck. If he finds the right fit with another team, he could have success. And I just wish him the best, man. Derek Carr, 9 years, he's a Raider from the heart. But sometimes in life, you need a change. And when you need that change, it means you need to move on. What's best, you know. Anyhow, so, man, I lost my train of thought. In the meantime, play some tunes. Yeah, so, you know, at first I had mixed emotions, and then I realized, you know what? It's the nation over everything. It's not about the name in the back of the jersey, but the name in front of the jersey. So, what's best for the Raiders? Well, as far as Derek Carr, he should take it as the team's letting him know, move on, and he'll be free. And at the same time, that's what I'm trying to get at. At the same time, they'll free up a ton of money. And with that money, you could use it to fix the issues, the fixtures that need to be done with the team. Okay? First, you start with both sides of the ball. You fix the trenches with the offensive line, get a strong ass offensive line, and then you get a killer defense. Now, as far as quarterbacks, it's not easy to get a good quarterback in the league. So, do we go ahead and draft the quarterback? Actually, for the next 2024 draft, there is two college quarterbacks that are potential NFL stars. You got he's a sophomore, Caleb Williams out of USC, and Drake May out of North Carolina. Okay, but are the Raiders gonna tank 2020 this 2023 season? Are they gonna tank it? Not only do the Raider Nation suffer, but it don't look good in football because other teams are gonna see what player's gonna want to come to the Raiders when he sees that the Raiders tanked it, that they give up, just so we could get that number one quarterback draft pick, which is one of those two, Caleb Williams or Drake May. Okay. The next Super Bowl is going to be held in Las Vegas, so that's why we don't want to tank. We want to win this season to make the Super Bowl. I'm saying that, I'm mentioning the Super Bowl. You'll see where I'm trying to get at. You'll see where. All right, so trying to play the tunes here. There we go. Yeah, so we fix a team for the future, and I feel that this moving on from Derek Carr is for plans for the future, and what has written all over it, I'll get to that. But before that, okay, so you move on from Derek Carr. Do we draft a quarterback and rebuild? See how that shit goes. Or to get one of these savvy vet quarterbacks to come in and save the day. Well, you've seen how Russell Williams asked how it ended up in Denver. We don't want that shit. And now for the best part. Rumors has it Tom Brady to the Raiders. That just made Raider fans cringe right there. I get it. The reason I want to mention this is because it seems like it's written all over it. Like Tom Brady may come to the Raiders. Why? Coach McDaniels, which first of all, Coach McDaniels is an offensive coordinator. He doesn't have the head coach quality. Okay? He never did when he left New England and went to Denver. You see how that went. He never did when he went elsewhere. Elsewhere, you see how that went. The only reason he won in New England is because who ran it? Bill Belichick. He was the boss. And Tom Brady. So his resume, but yeah, he's a good offensive coordinator. But head coach quality, look what he did to the Raiders this season. And I bet a lot of the Raider Nation fans don't want Coach McDaniels. It's not that I don't like Coach McDaniels as a person. I don't know him. Just his play calling for the Raiders. To be head coach for the Raiders. And I know a lot of Raider fans would agree with that. So back to the fun part. As far as Tom Brady. Let me tell you right now, you're going to hear it first. If the Raiders sign Tom Brady comes play for the Raiders, it's going to divide the Raider Nation. Straight up. You're hearing it first here. Mark my words. It's going to divide the Raider Nation. Why? History. Speaking of history, this past Saturday, well, not this past Saturday, but last week, Saturday, December 24th, Christmas Eve, I watched the game. The Raiders versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the Raiders still had their playoff hopes were still alive. They still had a chance to make the playoffs, although it was a very slim chance. And I have said it before, the Raiders are not going to make the playoffs. But they were not technically eliminated. Therefore, what did Derek Carr do? Throw 3 interceptions. I remember I said that during the season, Derek Carr hasn't been like on read with passes. Well, in that Pittsburgh game, the last play of the game, to give the Raiders a chance, Hunter was wide open for the touchdown, and Derek Carr underthrew it. And he had 3 interceptions in that game. So, not to mention he had a horrible December. 9 interceptions in the past 5 games. I mean, how could you deny that? And but at the same time, that game, the Pittsburgh Steelers played hard, to keep their playoffs hopes alive, and they did. And actually, yesterday they beat the Ravens, Baltimore Ravens, and their playoff hopes are still alive. And that game was played in Pittsburgh. The weather was 5 degrees, and it was that game was a tribute to the Pittsburgh Steelers fans, because it was a couple of days before the game. Pittsburgh Steelers legend Franco passed away. At the same time, it happens to be the 50th anniversary between the Pittsburgh Steelers and Raiders from that 1973 Immaculate Reception play that became one of the biggest controversial plays in NFL history, and that's what started the beef between the Raiders and the referees 50 years ago, 1973, that Raiders-Steelers game, and where I look back and I have reviewed that play through video. I have looked at it through every angle, and okay, so Terry Bradshaw, he snaps back. He's in the pocket. He was about to get sacked. He breaks away, throws it to the Steelers receiver. Now, Franco, he's over here, a lineman. He sees the play going on, that Bradshaw is in the pocket, so he started running forward. But Terry Bradshaw throws it to the wide receiver. And Raiders Tatum sees the receiver, and he's about to go pop him, and the ball was overthrown. Tatum jumps up, hits his chest, bounces off his chest. It just like ricocheted so fast that the Steelers wide receiver put his hands, deflected off his hands, and the ball's about to fall on the ground when here comes Franco, who had took off from the where the line was. Sure enough, he catches it with his fingertips right before it dropped to the ground. Al Davis complained to the NFL that it hit the ground, and it just became. That's what started it off. And the reason I'm sharing that, you'll see where I'm getting to that. Back to Tom Brady. Will Tom Brady come play for the Raiders? And current coach McDaniels was his coach in New England. So Tom Brady knows his playbook. Tom Brady knows his plays for many years.